Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Well,
that's crazy. Insta-booed. Oh my God, bro. Come on, dude. It is like what is going on? How does this keep happening?
Tell us about this criticism Trump is facing about a recent visit to Arlington National Cemetery. His team accused of recording video in a prohibited area. Veteran families now reacting to this?
Yeah, so this video shows the president visiting some of the grave sites of some of the 13 service members who were killed in that attack on Abbey Gate in Afghanistan. Trump trying to highlight Harris and this administration's handling of that chaotic troop withdrawal. But filming in this area of the cemetery is prohibited just for this reason, to not politicize the military.
This is such a funny thing that he did. He is such a clout-hungry social media demon, dude. I'm not gonna lie. This is my favorite Trump story of this election cycle so far. At first, I didn't cover it because I was like, who gives a shit? And then I read into the details, and it is hilarious, okay? He went to the Arlington National Cemetery. That's where all the veterans are. That's where all the soldiers are. And he did that so he could... he did that so he could cut content where he's like, Biden is so bad, he killed 13 of our best veterans. Kamala Harris killed 13 of our best veterans, okay? And he went there with the Gold Star family of like one of the parents of like one of the dead vets, right? And of course, there are like major reasons as to why you're not supposed to be doing this, because apparently, you know, you just can't do that. You can't do a photo op at the Arlington Cemetery. You can't do a campaign op at a cemetery in general. Okay. I love that the people that work at the cemetery were like, you can't do that. And he was like, nah, it's fine.
Terry, now, some families like that of Staff Sergeant Ryan Knauss say they give Trump permission. They say it's sad to restrict how the fallen are honored. But overnight, we heard from another Gold Star family, the sister of Sergeant Andrew Marcassano, who died by in 2020 after 8 tours of combat. His grave is also shown.
Yeah, one of the graves that was shown in the TikTok is the dude who killed himself. Breaking, the U.S. Army has a new statement out at the incident at Arlington and real Donald Trump. Of note, they confirmed that the parties were told of the laws against political activity and that an employee was pushed aside and filing charges were on the table. Oh my God. This is worse than when Scrub Daddy Girl on TikTok went to Mexico and scrubbed all those headstones for content. That's what I'm saying. This is my favorite genre of like insane TikToker nonsense. Trump is doing Scrub Daddy Girl shit. It's phenomenal. We're gonna do it. I'll show you the U.S. Army rebukes Trump campaign for incident at National Cemetery. He's a TikTok girly, dude. He's a TikTok girly. Let him thrive. Y'all are, everyone's against him, even the Army, okay? Trump's gonna come out and be like, the Army, and all the vets are gonna be like, hell yeah, brother, you're right. I hate the Army. It's gay now and woke. Oh, it's so sick. Okay. It's dope. I'm fully on board with this. Okay. I'm fully on board with this. It's the John McCain controversy all over again. To be fair, a lot of vets hate the U.S. Army. Yeah, no, it's awesome. First of all, as you guys know, I don't give a fuck about like how this is sacrilege. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I don't care that it's like, I don't care that it's like considered sacrilege to like do this sort of thing. Okay. I don't. But a lot of people certainly will be in their feelings about it. But it is funny as in general that Trump did this. The worst part about it is that like, yeah, he was, you know, his staff were being rude and annoying to the people that work at the cemetery. That's reposting. Oh, they're doing it already. Reposting to trigger the hacks at the Army. GOP political strategist, combat wounded Marine, Pittsburgh native Chris LaCivita. It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters, okay? Republicans own patriotism. The primary reason for rules about filming is to preserve the idea that the military is politically neutral. They're doing a big crackdown against, again, on that, at least. That's what my cousin told me. Yeah, my cousin. Yeah. I get it. I get why those rules exist, okay? It's just funny. And no, it doesn't factor, like Greg Stoker posting Biden doing the same thing does not obviously factor in a similar capacity, considering that he was a vice president on considering that he was a vice president and not like actively campaigning or some shit, okay? This doesn't mean you can't literally take pictures at the cemetery, dog, as a person. Like, Trump has also been pictured at Arlington before when he was president. The difference is during an election cycle, when you're actively trying to cut campaigning footage at the Arlington cemetery, then it becomes a political problem. Bro made a TikTok. Now, I still, again, don't care necessarily, but for all of the context enjoyers and for all of the everybody does this, okay? Just, something to consider, that it's not the exact same equation at all. Speaking of cousin, my 4-year-old saw me watching you, and now she calls you that boy and your cousin. Really good news out of the Biden admin, and I hope that Kamala Harris is shouting this during her campaign stops. We don't give but a lot of people do, and this makes it bad for Trump. No, they won't. It'll be the old, it didn't happen, and if it did happen, it wasn't that bad, and if it was bad, the other side has done worse, and if not, then free speech. Not a fan of context, to be honest. No, I'm just showing you, like, Biden has been pictured the secretary, so is Donald Trump. The difference is, like, it wasn't a campaign material that they were cutting. That's the major difference. It doesn't mean that, like, you can't film a president or a vice president ever at the Arlington cemetery. Of course, every goddamn elected representative has had that moment in the past. Love this story, though.
In this Trump video, and she says, quote, "We hope that those visiting this sacred site understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom and that they are honored and respected accordingly." Now, the Harris campaign has responded to this. They suggest this behavior is just typical for Donald Trump. They say it shows that he's only out for himself, but J.D. Vance firing back at that criticism, using some charged language, saying that Kamala Harris, the sitting vice president, quote, "can go to hell."
Now to a growing controversy in the presidential race, and it has to do with this picture right here on your screen of former President Donald Trump at Arlington National Cemetery and an altercation that occurred on the grounds there.
Bro, they made him do the thumbs up. That's crazy work, okay? When I saw this photo, I couldn't believe it. That's crazy work, man. That's nasty. That is nasty. Insane pic. They're all smiling. They're smiling, and they got the thumbs up over the grave of their family member. What? What are we doing? I think this genuinely shows, like, the idolatry surrounding Donald Trump, okay? Like, where these guys actively think, I mean, they're actively more excited at the prospect of of genuflecting the dear leader than, like, the actual context of the situation. Dying equals L, posing for a photo over dead people W. Yeah. Oh, it's so sick. And I think like, if I'm not mistaken, I think this guy killed himself too. So they were, like, more mad about that too, where they literally were like, where they just, like, posted up, throwing the thumbs up over the grave of, like, another soldier too, like, that you can be seen in the photo. Isn't not reading the room kind of the Republican MO? I mean, Donald Trump is goated at reading the room usually, but this is one of those situations where, like, he doesn't give a at the very least. It makes it extremely clear it's a campaign thing. He's not there to pay respect. Oh yeah, involving
his campaign staff. Meanwhile, on the other side, Vice President Kamala Harris prepares for a big moment with her running mate Tim Walz in the battleground state of Georgia today, and our Nancy Cordes has made her way to Savannah. Nancy, good morning. This is a first for the Harris-Walz campaign. What do we know?
That's right, Tony. It is the first sit-down interview that Vice President Harris will be doing since becoming the nominee. She's going to do it jointly with her vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz. She's going to do it here in Savannah, where she's also holding a rally at the end of a 2-day swing through the part of the state that is typically not a target for Democratic nominees. Southeastern Georgia is Republican territory, but Vice President Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are rolling through anyway. Polls show Harris has pulled even with former President Trump in this battleground state. And her campaign says 35,000 volunteers have signed up in Georgia since Harris became the nominee last month. Hello. So far, she has stayed mum on the controversy over her opponent's visit to Arlington National Cemetery on Monday. Defense officials tell CBS News that some Trump staffers got, quote, aggressive, both verbally and physically, when a cemetery official tried to prevent them from bringing a campaign photographer onto the grounds. Federal law prohibits election-related activity in the cemetery. The Trump team insists their cameraman was invited by the family members of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, and Hoover's family agrees. They all posed with Trump at Hoover's gravesite Monday. But there was another headstone in the picture belonging to Master Sergeant Andrew Marchesano, who died in 2020. In a statement to CBS News, Marchesano's sister said her understanding was that...
Yeah, he died in 2020 by himself. It's crazy. Dude, this is a crazy story. Like, we haven't even watched the TikTok yet. We've only done the commentary around it. We got to watch the TikTok. Because they filmed the TikTok. They filmed the TikTok, dude. That's craziness. Let me see. Does anyone have it? I mean, he posted this. Chris LaCivita posted this. Oh. Assaulting graveyard workers over this shit feels like it should be a big deal, but nope, not in the U.S. No, not in the Trump era.
We lost 13 great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan.
Kino. Cinema. Oh, it's so good. My goat.
I'm so grateful to be here today with you, Mr. President.
He's pumping, dude. He's pumping those tiki-takis, dude. Look at that. 9.5 million, dude. You can't hate this shit. It's sad the media won't show this. Brother, what are you talking about? The media definitely is showing this nonstop. Gotta hit him with a follow. Bro. Oh, Chatter said Trump does one podcast with Logan Paul and thinks it's a good idea to visit dead people and film their content. Yo, there's so much to be said about this. I'm gonna run it again. I gotta run it back.
13. We didn't lose one person in 18 months.
We didn't lose one person in 18 months. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over this disaster and they killed 13 of our best soldiers.
Then they took over that disaster, the leaving of...
Trump said,
"Don't you give up, nah, nah, nah. I won't give up, nah, nah, nah."
oh my God. Oh my God. It's peak, dude. This is, God, clown show. Peak clown show. Love it. Love it. Living La Vida Loca, except for those guys. They died. So RIP to them. That's craziness. That's craziness, dude. That's a lie. One of the guys in my ex-boyfriend's unit died in Afghanistan in 2019. Yeah.
I wake up to fight for my yarn.
Oh, so good. Oh, here's also JD Vance's response to this. The absolute goat of charisma. They're saying generational run. Ron DeSantis was the theory. JD Vance is the praxis. Okay. They're saying no one has had this level of charisma, this kind of aura before. Okay. In the opposite direction. Let's take a look at Jebediah Vance.
You guys in the media, you're acting like Donald Trump filmed a TV commercial at a gravesite. He was there.
He did do that. He did. He just did a TikTok commercial, which is objectively lamer. Objectively lamer. Guys, he didn't film a TV commercial. He filmed a TikTok, which makes it funnier. Come on, man. Come on, man.
They're providing emotional support to a lot of brave Americans who lost loved ones they never should have lost, and they're happening.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Bro. Donald Trump.
Together.
Donald Trump doing. Donald Trump's been doing this, dude.
If my stepdad has passed away, and if I had seen somebody making a TikTok using a scrub daddy and some homemade egg cleaner, filming it for views, I'd be pretty pissed.
Like I said, am a big fan, okay, openly a big fan of all of this, openly a advocate for everything that happened here. I will be voting for Donald Trump after this Arlington cemetery process. What a story, dude. Oh my God. Never let a crisis go to waste, okay?
That the Trump campaign staffer did not adhere to the rules. We hope that those visiting this sacred site, she said, understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom.
The altercation at Arlington Cemetery is the media creating a story where I really don't think that there is one.
In Erie, Pennsylvania, Trump's VP nominee, J.D. Vance, sought to shift the focus to Harris.
And she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Ooh.
That is pretty unusual.
He almost got mean. He almost said she could herself. Ooh. 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 Man, this is... Oh. Gary Peterson with another banger. Wait, what? It was my honor to take Roger Stone out of town for his birthday. What? Okay, stop. I don't care about Gary Peterson memes, okay?
Language for the campaign trail, and the fact is that Harris hasn't yelled at Trump for going to Arlington. She hasn't said anything about the situation at all. A Harris campaign spokesperson did say yesterday that the situation is pretty sad, and he said it's not unusual for the Trump campaign.
Oh my God. Oh, this was crazy. J.D. Vance also, again, generational run, generational talent. Obviously, many people are wondering how he does it. Okay, many people are wondering what the J.D. Vance method is. Okay, how does he do it? How does he go and get booed during a speech at the firefighters convention? Why is it that like he constantly keeps putting himself in this position where like you can immediately look at the VP pick on the other side of the race and recognize the genuine differences in the way that normal humans receive these two separate VP picks? We already know this. We already watched it with JD Vance's donut shop altercation, okay, where I will be playing that and then side by side compare it to like Tim Walz making doing an order at a local establishment. Let's just watch.
So Vance just addressed the Firefighters Union convention in Boston, and Walz spoke to that same group yesterday. One of two major unions, I should point out, that has yet to endorse in the presidential race. Talk about the difference both in their message and in the reception.
The politics of organized labor have been really interesting in this race because what we saw in this race, what we saw in the last race, frankly, was in many cases union leadership backing Democrats and union members in some cases voting for Trump. It's always been an area where he's been stronger than traditional Republicans have been. Here, in the case of this dueling appearances at this firefighters union convention, we saw Tim Walz give a directly pro-labor address yesterday. Now, both he and Vance included elements of their own personal story, their own personal experiences with firefighters, with EMTs, tried to kind of humanize their messages. I think it was very clear that the Walz approach yesterday was more effective in the room than the J.D. Vance approach today.
Yeah. Here is Tim Walz, okay? Fox News carried part of Tim Walz's speech to Firefighters Union in Boston where he attacks Trump and highlights the dangers of Project 2025.
He blocked overtime benefits for millions of workers. He opposed efforts to raise the minimum wage.
Let's watch how Walz, talked. RIP Twitter in Brazil. Oh, is that why people are talking about how Twitter is down? Do I have that many Brazilian chatters?
Even proposed slashing budgets for federal fire service programs. Those are just simply facts. But look, it's not just what they've done, it's what they're going to do. This is the big thing. One of the goals of their Project 2025 is to screw the middle class, making it harder for workers to collectively bargain, allowing employers to drastically cut overtime or eliminate it, slash taxes for the ultra-wealthy by imposing a national sales tax on the rest of us. Look, I've said this, I'm an old-time football coach. If you draw up a playbook, you plan on using it. Project 2025 is a plan to reshape what America looks like, moving away from the middle class and putting it right back on the oligarchs and the wealthy at the top. He said he's going to repeal the Affordable Care Act. That thing is pre-existing conditions. Those are things that make sure that our family gets health care. And for many of our families, and I know you don't get to participate in it, but your families do, my mom does, Social Security and Medicare are life-saving programs for them. Instead of funding those programs, they talk about cutting them. So here, this is what I always say. If you got $1 billion, you don't give a damn if your Social Security check shows up. But if you're like my mom, that's how you pay for your food. That's how you pay for your heat. That's how things get done. So that check, pretty damn important to protect it. Again, use their own.
The room is shaking, okay? The walls are sweating. My man is quaking, okay?
This is a guy who told his friends down at Mar-a-Lago, and this is a direct quote. Look, all of you you're rich as hell. We're going to give you a tax cut, while telling workers that wages are too high. That says it all. And again, if you're confused on where you're going to go, think about what impacts you, your life, and your family the most. So let me tell you exactly what Vice President Harris and I will do when we get elected. As president, then President Harris will sign the PRO Act, making it easier for unions to organize. We'll protect Safer Grant program. It's good to see you say this. If you have to spend any time thinking if you want to support the PRO Act, that pretty much tells you where you're at, because that's a pretty easy one. Same thing with the Safer Grant program. We know it's essential to helping serve and protect communities, especially as we starting to see intensive heat waves. We'll keep fighting to protect your retirement benefits, lowering taxes for working families, and finally making corporations just pay their fair share. They're doing fine. They're doing fine. They can pay their fair share. Look.
So seems like that was broadly received as a overall very popular speech. Okay, people like that a lot. Okay, people like that speech a lot. Let's hear how JD Vance was received in that same room. Does anyone have the actual clip of JD Vance just getting booed? Because that's the one I want to show you. Just straight up getting booed, dog. Not a good look at all. Okay, hold on. Here it is. It was in the docket. Here it is. JD Vance, President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history.
Now, President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history. And I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
Oh, my God. Oh my God, bro, come on, dude. It is like what is going on? How does this keep happening? How does this keep happening? Here's a longer video of JD Vance getting booed by the firefighters group.
JD Vance.
When he first comes up.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Well, Semper Fi, guys. We got some, it sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay. Listen to what I have to say here.
That's crazy. Insta-booed. Insta-boo. I would myself. Yeah, like if JD Vance actually had a soul and hadn't had that sucked out of him by Peter Thiel, as he was Peter Thiel's blood boy, okay, if he hadn't done like Illuminati rituals to get to the position that he's in right now, he would feel really bad, okay? But because he is exactly that like bloodless, soulless, sociopathic monster that is constantly trying to be a carpet bagging ladder climber, he doesn't have any of that, okay? He doesn't have any of that, okay?
I'll make my pitch. I want to first say thank you to Representative Jimenez for the great introduction.
He attempted to do a human joke as well.
Republican and Democrat conventions we just had. It says a lot who each party chose to put up on that stage. At the Republican convention, we were featuring everyday American workers, and of course, we had Hulk Hogan. And while it's tempting, and I'm sure it would make some big headlines, don't worry, everybody, I'm not going to try to take off my shirt here.
Listen to some of both men over the last 2 days.
President Trump and I are proud to be the most pro-worker Republican ticket in history. And I want to talk about why we're fighting for working people, why we're going to fight for unions and non-union alike.
But I can promise you this, when Vice President Harris and I win this election, we'll have your back just like you've had ours this entire time.
So two things can be true at once here, Chris. Donald Trump can have a better relationship with union member voters around the country than many previous Republican candidates, but can also pretty regularly say things that drive a wedge between he and their support, like when he cheered on Elon Musk for his own union-busting behavior in that interview that they did on X. I think that's some of what's coming back to bite J.D. Vance as he has to kind of go into the lion's den here and make a pitch.
Yeah. No, it's that. For sure. It's that, number one. Number two, it's also because obviously they are in Massachusetts, okay? And number three, Tim Walz is charismatic. JD Vance is not, okay? Let me find the clip real quick. Let's take a look. Here is JD Vance trying to order donuts set to the VP end credits.
Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything.
I kind of want to watch the original one. It's here. Tim Walz and JD Vance on the campaign trail. This is better. Okay. Let's see how Tim Walz orders from a local eatery.
Did a little rally on the side, but we had a little extra time. If you don't know, the iconic Nebraska restaurant is the Runza.
Is there everybody else in here? All right, we'll few. Okay. So we are. Let's see. We're gonna get. How many people, Nick? How many donuts do you get? I would get a couple.
Don't call it anything else except a Runza. The bread consistency, all of it really matters. I got the Swiss and mushroom. Is kind of a classic. The cheese is solid. You can be a little bit creative, but.
Okay. I'm sorry, man. Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
I'm JD Vance. I'm running for vice president. Nice to see you. Just so bad, bro. So humiliating.
This is it. If you're going to go to Nebraska, if you're going to go to a Nebraska football game, if you're just going to be a good person, you stop at Runza. I think it's the bread consistency. I mean, making your homemade every day? Yeah. Get this guy on TV.
Okay.
Yep. And just a random assortment of stuff here. How long have you worked here?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost TV for Runza. Thanks for the work you're doing. Matters. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Pleasure to meet you all. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, good. How long?
Everything.
Just everything, yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense.
Ma'am, if you don't
whatever makes sense. Order whatever makes sense.
want to be on film, you're good. If you don't want to be on film, you're okay.
Yeah. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. Oh my God. Painfully obvious how who goes to these places genuinely and who's just doing it for a media op. Okay, but like, how do you ordering donuts, man? You're just failing to be a human at that point. You're not just failing the media op. You're failing being a human. Like, it makes no sense. Like, how do you ordering donuts, dude? You don't have anything locked in the chamber? Like, no line in there? You just go, okay. He just sounds like a alien. He sounds like a goddamn alien trying to, like, not give the game away. He is consistently finding himself.
This process.
You need to learn how to cook.
The juice and then.
Come on, honey. It's a baster.
What are you doing now?
Caramelizing the onions, Mina.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
No, you need to.
I need to learn.
Videotaping me. I'm trying to teach you. You're more interested in being a video.
Look at that.
Of course, Megaphonics has like Deep cuts, dude. God damn Megaphonics. I'm putting a shutdown on Megaphonics clips going forward. Not even relevant to the conversation here. Just wanted to send one of his bookmarked bookmarked Kamala clips. He has been on the Kamala train way too hard, okay? Bro is a Kamala gooner 100%.